Is Test cricket relevant anymore? Does Test cricket have a future? Will Test cricket survive? It's 2018. Test cricket, as they say, is dying. The viewership is falling and the business returns are diminishing. Now, to make Test cricket more competitive and inclusive, ICC announced the World Test Championship. Starting with the Ashes in August 2019, yep, the one with Stokes' comeback, and finishing with a final that would be played in Southampton in June 2021. Wow, 2 years. That's a really long time for a tournament. This is going to revive Test cricket? Well, sure, we hope so. This is exciting, but also a little scary. What if even after these 2 years, we are not able to save the oldest form of the game from the demands of the modern consumerist culture? So in 2018, we leave the future of Test cricket here on a question mark. 2019. India began their World Test Championship campaign with a trip to the Caribbean. 14,000 kilometers away on a beautiful cluster of islands against the West Indies. The tropical Caribbean breeze blew India's way. Strong performances from the leading batting and pace attack gives them convincing victories. And of course you remember this guy, Jasprit Bumrah, who did this and this. Even the likes of Courtney Walsh and Curtly Ambrose would have been impressed with that. From there, the Indians returned to home soil, brimming with confidence. They were up against the once mighty South Africa, who were trying to find their feet again. But India's batsmen pile up runs and runs with Rohit's double, Kohli's double, Mayank's double. Crazy. This is Terminator, except instead of bullets, you have runs piling on. What else could happen but a whitewash? In their whites. 3-0 to India. Absolutely unstoppable. Next up, Bangladesh. First ever day-night test at, no prize for guessing, Eden Gardens. Eden goes pink. What a treat. There is high definition and then there is Eden Garden definition. Exciting new format, but same solid results. Experience coming into play? India win. Again. Okay, before we go into 2020, let's tell you this. At this point, even though India were looking like they'll take the cake before the birthday itself, England, New Zealand and Australia were also in contention for a place in the final. With 56, 60 and 176 points respectively, the format of the tournament was such that anything was still possible. Suddenly, Netflix seems a little boring, huh? Okay, play 2020. Now here's where things got a little tricky. Our protagonist runs into a sticky wicket. Flying 12,000 kilometers across the globe, they reached New Zealand with big hopes and a little bit of jet lag. Tests on the green top of Kiwi pitches are true test of skill and endurance, and the Indians were made to feel that. They toiled over 2 test matches, except, well, Ravindra Jadeja. Things are never hard for Ravindra Jadeja. But now, cracks were starting to show in the otherwise flawless Indian lineup. The razor-sharp seam attack blunted by the force of Kiwi batting. The top-order batting struggles for India outside India was exposed. And then, the unthinkable happened. COVID-19 became to the world what rain is to cricket, a spoil sport. Worldwide lockdowns meant forget about playing, the players couldn't even train outdoors anymore. Sporting calendars were struck off. Not just cricket, the future of all live sport around the world was in sudden jeopardy. Months later, the figurative clouds finally parted. Sports fans finally had some respite as live cricket resumed. Soon, it was time for one of the top clashes in modern cricket. India versus Australia in Australia down under. As if COVID wasn't enough, India faced a test that challenged every last shred of mental toughness. Day 3 of the ping ball test in Adelaide was the exact opposite of day 3 of the ping ball test in Eden Gardens over a year ago. 2020 seemed like it was cursed. With Kohli set to return home, Shami out with an injury, and the team all out for 36, India wasn't even thinking of the WTC anymore. It was now about saving face in a highly touted contest. All odds stacked up against them, it seemed like our protagonist had reached its breaking point. Cut to Melbourne. Cut to Sydney. Cut to the Gabba. Cut to the final hour of the final day of the final test of the final match on the long tour. It looked like Stokesy in Headingley, but it was actually Rishabh Pant at the Gabba. Every hit thriller has a great chase sequence. This one had the greatest one of them all. Match win? Check. Series win? Check. Overseas win? Check. Epic chase? Check. Back home, with barely any time to bask in the glory of the historic achievement, India huddled together for the home series against the Englishmen. Wear and tear, repair and heal, the boys were back on the field. After the first of the 4 tests, however, India were 1-0 down. The World Test Championship had now reached its ultimate cliffhanger. 3 tests remained, and so did 3 possibilities. It was down to India, England and Australia having an equal chance to join New Zealand, who had already qualified, in the finals. And from there, India did what they were doing the best. Coming back from a shaky start. From 0-1 to 3-1, India turned the tables on one of the toughest oppositions in modern day cricket to set up a Clash of the Titans contest against New Zealand in Southampton on June 18. 2 years of exceptional cricket, India and all other test-playing nations have accomplished what at one point no one thought was possible. The World Test Championship might just have revived the oldest, purest, most beautiful form of the sport, Test cricket. And now, it's time to witness its rebirth.